What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Skyrim build on Fudge Muppet. My name is Scott and I'll be your host today, and as you know, every second Skyrim build we do is modded, and because last week's Blood Rider build was vanilla, this one uses mods. The Warlord is probably one of my favourite builds, and I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy it. Also, a reminder now to subscribe if you haven't already, because we've got plenty of sensational videos for Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 4, and even the other Fallout games on their way. A true-born Imperial, the Warlord was born in the Imperial City. He joined the army at the age of 18. He's always been a patriot, he loves the Empire, and he also loves hearing about the Septim Dynasty. He's a bit of a historian, enjoys a good read through the pages of history and tactics, and he also enjoys long walks on the beach. His trains are thrust with his sword and certainly knows how to use protection, as you can see from the massive round glorious shield. The Warlord was a legate in the Great War when he was 26 years old under the command of General Decianus. This took him to partake in the battles of Hammerfell and also the Battle of the Red Ring. At the age of 30, the Great War came to an end, and now, in the time of Skyrim, he's reached the ripe old age of 55. The Warlord always views the Thalmor as disgusting and finds it shameful that they would ruin a once peaceful empire. So how did he end up in Skyrim? Well, after the signing of the White Gold Concordat, he was greatly ashamed of Titus Mede II and refused to serve the Imperials. He threw aside his position in the army and alongside a squad of men that were also filled with disappointment. He ventured east to Hammerfell. He spent many years there helping the Redguard resistance battle off the Thalmor, and this is why the Warlord has a sword from Hammerfell, as you can see on the screen. After collecting a lot of pay for his help, and seeing many of his friends perish or retire due to old age in battle, he decided it was time to travel somewhere that was more in need. He wouldn't take old age as an excuse, he would be fighting the Thalmor till his last breath, and so he boarded a boat from Sentinel and rowed by sea to Skyrim. He had heard of the Civil War, and he took it as his mission to save the Empire. He wouldn't let them get even weaker. As much as he was disappointed previously, he never spoke ill of the Empire itself. He didn't actually lose faith in the Empire and what the Empire wants and could stand for again. He believes what the Stormcloaks are doing must be prevented, and so arriving in Skyrim, he reluctantly rejoins the Legion despite his age. He keeps his past with the Legion all hush-hush, and so he will appear to be coming in fresh, working his way through the ranks once more. When it comes to mods, you're going to want immersive armors and immersive weapons, and also the alternate start mod. You're going to choose the Came to Ship by Skyrim option and select Solitude. So the gear you need to get from the Immersive Armors mod is all heavy armor, and it includes the Imperial Knight Helmet, the Imperial Knight Van Braces, which are just the gauntlets, Imperial Knight Greaves, which are basically just the boots, and the Einherjar Light Cuirass. You're also going to get the Nordic Ebony Shield, as you can see, and overall you're going to have the real Leonidas 300 feel. You'll also be using an Amulet of Talos, and you should get the Blessing of Talos as often as you can for reduced shout cooldown times. From the Immersive Weapons mod, you're going to have what is called the Ornate Alakir Scimitar. And this, of course, is the sword the Warlord was using in Hammerfell and has taken to Skyrim. The Warlord will, of course, discover he is Dragonborn. A little late, in my opinion. I mean, wouldn't you want to shout people off cliffs for the first half century of your life? But anyways, he discovers he has this power and will often use the Fire Breath shout, which will give a real Typus Septim reincarnated feel. And besides his Fire Breath, his playstyle will include a lot of shouts, including Ice Form, Unrelenting Force, Elemental Fury, and in the earlier levels, Dismay. The overall goal of the Warlord will be to bring peace to Skyrim through Imperial rule, so eventually the Thalmor can be defeated. Although he isn't racist, he will have a bit of prejudice and initial distrust towards races who naturally align themselves with the Aldmeri Dominion, until they prove themselves otherwise. This will include Wood Elves, Khajiit, and of course the High Elves themselves. So that's the backstory and motives, gear and mods. Time for the skills. The skills of the Warlord are, as you can probably guess, one-handed, heavy armor, block and smithing. One-handed is of course to slice enemies apart in the name of the Empire and works fantastically with the Elemental Fury shout. Block will be to charge through enemies' lines with your shields, blocking incoming arrows, and of course bash the heads in of those who you take on. Heavy armor will keep you protected and help you move fluently in your protection. And finally, smithing will be used to make all of the above even better, and of course actually forge it too. With the sword, you'll just have to pretend that you started with it, or that it was damaged in Hammerfell, and you took the components to the forge to repair it. Remember, the perk link that you'll want can be found in the description, and while you're there, be sure to check out our social media links. You can use Facebook and Twitter to message us, and of course, Instagram to stalk our lives. So looking at the playstyle, I've basically explained that already, but as you can see, it's a nice blend of shouts and charges. You'll most often start the battle with a shield charge, or a shout to knock enemies flying or burn them to a crisp. You can of course use a shield charge and then elemental fury for a nice combination as well. So entering the battle, use your shouts and shield charges until you have some of the enemies on the ground, and then focus your attack onto them and then the ones still standing. Remember, you are getting old, so you want to protect your bones as much as possible for someone fighting in a war. The stat spread for the Warlord is going to be 60% health and 40% stamina. And this of course is going to represent his high amount of conditioning and endurance from fighting. Health will keep him alive, and the 40% stat allocation into stamina will ensure plenty of shield charging, bashing and power attacks. The stone used for the Warlord is the Lord Stone, surprise surprise, and this will give you 50 more points of armor rating and 25% resistance to magic. Always nice for those pesky Thalmor scum. And that wraps up this week's build, the Warlord. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe for more awesome videos. Also, if you could share our channel with a friend, we love bringing our love for lore, role-playing and discussion to as many people as possible. We've put the perk link in the description for you alongside our social media links. And of course, a link to all the mods you'll want when you play the Warlord. My name is Scott, this was the Warlord, and Michael and I will nerd out with you again soon.